They say that you never stop learning.
Yes!
We couldn't agree more.
I want you to take a look at this.
That's why, in partnership with the BBC, we've spent the last 50 years bringing learning to life for millions. And we're not stopping now.
Let's look at some examples of this.
We're still collaborating to tell relevant, groundbreaking, and meaningful stories.
This is our story.
Combining the academic insight and expertise of the Open University with the world-class production of the BBC.
We're aiming to produce something pretty special.
To bring you programmes that spark delight and curiosity.
Everything was well.
Unearth long-hidden secrets.
That was amazing!
And even inspire change.
People are ready for change.
Seen by millions of people and counting. We work together to make learning open to everyone.
This is kind of amazing, isn't it?
On TV, radio, digital, and in our teaching. Curious minds change with the times, so we will too. And all the things that can be learnt, we will bring to life. Together, we'll never stop learning.
Open University. It's good looking, don't you think?
Meet Bob, the on-demand service for education, brought to you by Learning on Screen, an organisation with almost 75 years in the sector. Bob provides users with access to an archive of over 2.5 million broadcasts and more than 75 free-to-air channels to record from, including BBC's 1 and 2 and their regional variations, BBC 4, ITV, Channel 4 and Film 4, and 10 foreign language channels, among them French, German and Italian. Fully accessible by staff and students, users also gain content from the BBC's RES project and Shakespeare archives, with broadcasts dating back to the 1950s, and our pre-1990s specialist academic collections grow larger all the time, with each and every episode of Play for Today, as well as Arena, already available. And that's not all. Bob also provides tools to make the content work for you. Create and share playlists, generate clips and clip compilations, search program transcripts and subtitles, embed content in VLEs, and enjoy one-click citations for hassle-free academic referencing. And there's more on the way. With the education space increasingly adopting more online approaches, we're hard at work on a host of new features designed to help where it's needed most, all informed by consultation with staff and students alike. So log in today or inquire about the trial and see how Bob can help you.
Good evening everyone, I'm Virginia Hayworth-Galt. I'm the Chief Executive of Learning on Screen, the British Universities and Colleges Film and Video Council, and I would like to give you a warm welcome to the 2022 Learning on Screen Awards. Due to the impact of the pandemic, this year we opened the awards to entries made in 2020 and 2021, so we had a bumper year of entries this year. And it's remarkable to think that many of these productions were made under extremely challenging circumstances and at a time of great disruption across the education sector. We launched the awards in 2004, and the annual ceremony never fails to astound and delight. There is no other place where you can see the quality, creativity and talent showcased at these awards. This evening we are thrilled to present the fantastic work produced by the 2022 nominees. The Learning on Screen Awards bring the very best of educational television and filmmaking. The awards are here to recognise and celebrate the unique moving image output of the UK's leading universities. And they're also here to shine a light on the remarkable work of a generation of upcoming filmmakers from across our universities and colleges. Before the ceremony starts, I would like to thank the Open University, ERA, Truro and Penwith College and Kickstarter for generously supporting these awards. And as ever, I would like to say a big thank you to all of the Learning on Screen staff and our panel of expert judges. We just couldn't do this without you. I hope you enjoyed the ceremony tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next year too. Please make sure you enter your latest films on the Learning on Screen Awards when they open for entries in the summer this year. And now it is with great pleasure that I get to present the first of our 12 awards tonight, not forgetting our special jury and Premier Awards to be presented at the end of the ceremony. This year, the entries have truly showcased excellent talent and variety across all categories. Given the widespread move to online teaching these past 2 years, this excellence was particularly evident across our first category, Online Education Resource, which received an impressive amount of entries, so much so that our judging panel decided to put forward 6 nominees in this category. The Online Education Resource Award showcases any online educational resource which incorporates a moving image element. The 6 nominees are as follows: BIOL 1029 Virtual Skills Lab from University of Southampton. The Virtual Skills Lab was created to simulate an accessible classroom teaching environment for students to explore the connection between the form and function of mammal skulls. Our judges described the resource as concise and engaging, offering a simple but effective tutorial that was both user-friendly and easy to navigate. Black British Stories from CTVC. This resource is comprised of short films exploring Black British history and the experiences of Black people living in the UK, with each story accompanied by a teacher support film. Our judges praised the blend of intergenerational storytelling and the variety of professions and roles explored across the resource. They noted how well the resource aligned with all curricula in a positive and engaging way. Foundations in Dementia from University of Nottingham. This online course develops the knowledge, skills and confidence that health and social care professionals, as well as family supporters, need to better understand and give appropriate care to people with dementia. The judges noted this was a comprehensive resource which could be very useful to a wide range of people, not just professionals in dementia. They also felt that there was space within the resource to foster a community. How to be a better LGBTQI+ ally from HKZ Productions, Open Learn at the Open University and Elucidat. This immersive video experience focuses on Naomi, a teenage trans girl, as it depicts and explains the difficulties Naomi experiences as a young trans woman starting her first day at a new school. The judges described the resource as thought-provoking, accessible and diverse, whilst ultimately leading you to care about the characters and their experiences. Immersed in Media from the Ulster University Interactive Media team. Immersed in Media is a set of learning resources to help teachers and pupils of A-level moving image arts explore immersive media. The judges described it as a rich resource and praised the engaging use of media and experiential content to support teachers in their teaching around emerging media technologies. Smashed Online, We Are Tilt and Collingwood Learning, supported by Diageo. This interactive educational experience is designed to shift attitudes and understanding around alcohol for millions of young people worldwide. Our judges praised the concept and described it as an ambitious approach to tackling an important issue with excellent interactive storytelling. Now let's take a look at the extracts.
Welcome to Biol 1029, The Origins of Biodiversity Skull Practical.
For this online education resource, we set out to design an engaging, effective learning experience that enabled students to meet their course objectives. We wanted students to feel like they were in a virtual lab with Neil, exploring irreplaceable animal skulls. With a backdrop of COVID restrictions, the content needed to be accessible and usable, with an aspiration to emulate an in-person classroom event as closely as possible.
There was a chap called Paul Stevenson, who was actually from Essex, of African Caribbean descent. So what he wanted to do was to really prove that this colour bar was a reality and that people should really stand with him against it. He had met somebody in Bristol by the name of Guy Reed Bailey and had arranged for an interview to apply for a job as part of the bus crew. And when he arrived at the bus company and they realised he was black, he was told that the job had been filled and there was no vacancy, which was actually not true. Paul was able to expose this as colour bar.
As the impairments of dementia become more pronounced, health and social care providers need to offer timely and skilled interventions that can anticipate needs so that crises can be avoided. So dementia affects many people in the community.
This course has been developed to meet the learning requirements for health and social care professionals who work with people with dementia.
In addition, it will be useful to family carers, friends, concerned neighbours and dementia volunteers. In 6 2-hour units, this course will help you to understand dementia from the first signs until the end of life. It shows what makes good care practice from start to finish.
Okay, so you identify as female and are attracted to females?
I don't know, I'm still working on it. Like, I'm attracted to femininity, but I don't know if that means that I'm just attracted to females. Like, I definitely like femboys too. But I mean, with all of this, like, boys, girls, male, female, gay and straight, it's way more fluid than that. Like, it's not just one or the other. Like, gender and sexuality, all of this, it's all on a spectrum, right? And you can identify anywhere on that spectrum.
Oh. That's so confusing.
It's fun though, isn't it?
When we make a film, we try and hide the mode of production. This means we don't have any crew in shot, and we don't have any lights, sound person, or any of the equipment that makes the film possible. This is all hidden out of frame. The frame is really important to structure the shots and lead the audience through the story. This isn't a traditional 16:9 ratio piece of cinema though. I've shot this in 360. If you click on the video in YouTube and drag it around, you'll see the TV studio in Coleraine. Here are the lights, here are the mics, here are the broadcast cameras and the news desk behind you, and here's the autocue I'm reading off of.
We looked at ways in which we could use film but make it interactive. You can choose the paths that you go on, but the other thing we did, have a conversation with a character. You get to understand why people are making the decisions they're making, the pressures they're under, what's actually going on behind the action.
We have been able to make young people controllers of the story. The feedback we have is that young people deeply relate to the challenges in the film.
95% of the students that we surveyed are less likely to drink after participating in this program.
Our judges found all the nominations in this category to be of brilliant quality. As you can see from the extracts, the resources covered a wide range of topics, all explored in a variety of ways. But after much debate, the winner is a warm, encompassing resource which dealt with its subject matter in a positive and inquisitive way. The winner of the Online Education Resource Award is Black British Stories from CTVC. Congratulations.
This is absolutely amazing. Personally, and on behalf of the incredible team who made this series, I just want to express how proud and honoured we are to not just win this award, but to have been given the wonderful opportunity to tell 10 brilliant British stories. So this award truly belongs to Tina, Mac, Alison, David, Dennis, Eunice, Elsie, Aisha, Vernon and Majid. They shared with us how they have contributed to British society, history and our economy. And they taught so much to our 10 super talented young interviewers. Thank you so much for this incredible recognition.
The boycott was organised by Paul Stevenson, and 4 other local activists. One particular day, they met outside of the bus company station with their placards and they marched all the way to the bus company union.
So what's the bus company union got to do with this?
The union, which looks after bus drivers in the workplace, were accused of creating the colour bar. They were the ones who had the power, essentially. And with the pressure that was brought to them by the people who gathered, the politicians, and the 4 activists who led the protests, the colour bar was taken away.
I'd now like to introduce our judge, Rebecca Tolley-Giorgio, filmmaker and interdisciplinary artist, to present our next award. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hello, everyone. During my time on the panel, I've had the pleasure of witnessing many excellent submissions, and 2022 was no exception. Our second award of the evening is our Promotional Film Award. This category celebrates filmmaking within universities and colleges as a means of promoting a service, department, or institution, as well as promotional filmmaking by students as part of a course. In this category, the judges nominated 3 productions. Little Beirut from Middlesex University. Little Beirut is a promotional video for a Lebanese restaurant based in London called Little Beirut, and presents landmarks and nature in Lebanon to give a sense of Lebanese culture and cuisine. The judges enjoyed the high production value, along with the warm and inviting shots of the Lebanese landscape. Restorative Justice Films from Middlesex University. This piece promotes awareness of restorative justice among victims, especially those who are autistic and have learning disabilities. The judges praised the powerful and emotive messaging in the piece and felt that it had an authentic voice through its use of reconstruction. Virtual Open Day from the London College of Communication, produced with Grey Moth. This interactive digital film-based experience provides an opportunity for prospective students to navigate their very own digital open day journeys. The judges described the work as articulate, coherent, and very user-friendly, giving a great insight into the facilities and services at LCC.
The food we make, the memories we engrave with every bite, after every taste, all make us fall in love over and over again. Only your flavors can bring young and the old, tame the wild, spice up the calm, and soothe the festive all together in harmony. The flavors we share, the life we embrace. O Lebanon, you are our land, our soul, our home.
Everyone hung out at my house, and strangers kept coming to the door. There was a lot of them, and it was so loud. It made me feel overwhelmed and nervous. I saw he was saying things, and I knew it was wrong. I was so worried that I would get in trouble. I was scared every time someone knocked at the door. I trusted him. I thought we were friends. This is my home, and it made me scared to be here.
Hey, welcome to your virtual open day. Select another option to continue your virtual open day. Thanks for coming along today, and we hope to see you soon.
And without further ado, this year's Promotional Film Award goes to Restorative Justice Films from Middlesex University. Congratulations to everyone involved.
Thank you everyone for voting for us to win this award. We're incredibly grateful. To have worked in an area which covers social justice has been an incredible opportunity and really eye-opening for everyone on the team. I'm sure I can say for everyone else. We've learned so much throughout this whole experience, and we've had an incredible time, and we're just really grateful that you can see and celebrate our hard work with us.
Yeah, I agree, Fran. I think we really, as staff, learned a lot alongside our students on this project, and that was really lovely. We had Barnet Mencat provide training and advice on learning disabilities, autism, and disability hate crime, and we also had some fantastic training from Why Me around restorative justice. We all together had to learn new ways of working, and it's helped us all rethink a lot about inclusive filmmaking and how we might take that forward as a university and as filmmakers.
Okay, and I'd like to say, adding to what Helen and Fan have said, that this was really a collaborative film effort, and that apart Fran here, we had another 5 lovely students working with us, namely these are Cleona, Marcel, Sarah, Manhal and Ellie. We also worked with the wonderful 5 actors who interpreted and acted out their roles with great dedication, and I'd like to read out their names. They are Louisa Bell, Natasha Mangat, Nicholas Athanasiou, Hamid O'Toole, and Erin Fitzpatrick. We also extend our thanks to the Fixation Academy, and especially to the director, Laura David, and actor Amy Dilworth Johnson.
Just a final thank you to Middlesex University, and of course to everyone who voted for us. We're so excited about this award. It means a lot to us all. Thank you so much.
I live next door. I knew something was wrong. I should have done something sooner. Adam and I have spoken now, and if I ever see anything like that happening again, I'll let our housing association know, and I'll also tell the police. I look out for Adam now.
Someone told me about restorative justice. I'm starting to trust people again.
Restorative justice can help you move forward if something bad has happened to you. You might have questions on why it happened. Talking can help you move forward.
Now, on to our third award of the evening, the Educational Film Award. This category is open to any non-broadcast film intended to educate either a general audience or those with a specific interest. It can include content produced by museums, libraries, galleries, charities, or any other organisation or individual creating educational productions. Here are the 3 nominees in this category. The Fake News Phenomenon from Hamlet Films. This film explores the relationship between fake news and conspiracy theories, as well as their effect on public discourse. It looks at how conspiracy theories are used as a form of propaganda and disinformation. The judges describe the film as slick, strongly informed, and praised the interesting perspective on fake news and its relationship with legacy press and journalists. Growth Mindsets. Keep Learning Ethan from Lizardfish TV. This film is about growth mindsets and how our brains develop as we learn and try new things. We're introduced to adaptive surfer Ethan and learn about his cerebral palsy and how he has used his growth mindset to push through barriers and overcome obstacles. The judges praised the accessible language for the intended audience and enjoyed the mix of compelling science and inspirational case study. The Language of Protest from Hamlet Films. The film specifically analyses how linguistic and semiotic means are used to attract attention and communicate a political message by those who don't have power or access to large-scale media outlets. The judges praised the film for its effective use of interviews and archive material. They found it accessible, creative, and thought the story moved along particularly well. Let's have a look at the nominations.
There's no doubt that there's an overlap between pseudoscience and conspiracy theories. In fact, there are some pseudoscientific conspiracy theories out there which are hugely popular, and very often the ones that turn to pseudoscience or, some kind of marginal theory within the sciences, we expect them to be people who are poorly educated or ignorant in some way, or maybe, mentally imbalanced in some way. That's very often not the case. It's often that they are well educated, quite smart, but very, very skeptical. If there's one thing they have in common, it's not any demographic, but what they do share is a kind of mistrust of authority.
Just like we feed our bodies with 5 portions of fruit and veg per day, there are also 5 ways to keep our thoughts, feelings and behaviours healthy. Think of it as a 5 a day for your brain. These are: connect with other people, be active, take notice of the world around you, keep learning, and give to others. Today, I'm going to be sharing some sciencey facts about how we can keep learning. When people start lifting weights in the gym, they don't start with the heaviest, they start with the light one, and with practice and repeatedly lifting the weight, their muscles get stronger. This is the same with our brains and learning new things.
The idea of intertextuality is often used very creatively. You appropriate the language of someone else and put it to new use for yourself. Extinction Rebellion's fashion action group took some very almost cliched slogans from the fashion world and then put a spin on them for their own purposes.
And so I'm happy to announce that the winner of the Educational Film Award is The Language of Protest from Hamlet Films.
Thank you so much to the Learning on Screen Award for recognising Hamlet Films' work on this film, The Language of Protest. We were so delighted to be able to explore and examine how images, text and words are manipulated by the media and how they're used as forms of protest by organisations like Extinction Rebellion, and to really bring to learners in this documentary a real unique angle and investigation into the language of protest. So thank you very much. Thank you to the Hamlet Films team, and thank you to the director, Julia Lima. So fantastic, we are delighted.
I think protest has changed a lot over the last decade or so, and the primary thing that has changed it, not the only thing, is new technology. That new technology has kind of caffeinated the nature of protest and kind of a virtual presence which can be both huge and elusive. They exist as hashtags, they key into something real, they mobilize sometimes millions of people, but they can disappear as quickly as they appear.
I'd now like to introduce our next judge, documentary filmmaker Pratap Ragani.
Thank you, Rebecca. As a judge of these awards, it was a privilege to watch such inspirational educational films. We now move on to our second Educational Film Award, which recognises productions from colleges, universities and sixth form schools. In this category, the panel shortlisted 4 nominees, and here they are. Do the Dead Have Human Rights? From the London School of Economics and Political Science. This film charts the history, practice and ethics of the forensic investigation of mass graves in the context of state and war crimes. The judges described the film as an original and significant piece of academic research and praised its effective use of archive and graphics to maintain pace. How Big Is Our Universe? From BBC Ideas and the Open University. Part of a short-form digital project providing short films for curious minds, the film takes us from Earth to the edge of the known universe, exploring the question, how big is our universe? The judges described the film as a beautiful and effective homage to the original project with a great use of narration and illustration. The Legacy of the Tokyo Women's Tribunal, from the London School of Economics and Political Science. This film was made to mark the 20th anniversary of the Women's International War Crimes Tribunal on Japan's military sexual slavery. It contains an incredible story, not always told to or by mainstream scholars working in the fields of international law. The judges praised the smart use of archive footage and how the film covered the subject's legal aspects in an accessible way. They felt it was an intersectional and intergenerational story in action. Makimai, Our Father in Love, from Hurtwood House School. This touching documentary gives a snapshot of the Makimai Children's Home in Nairobi, Kenya, and explores the experiences and relationships of the children and adults who care for each other there. The judges praised the film's energy from the start and thought the beautiful visual storytelling provided great insights into the children's home. Now let's take a look at some of these clips.
These were states that were transitioning from violent authoritarian rule to democracy. For example, Argentina and Chile had both experienced murderous military regimes, killing and disappearing tens of thousands of critics and opponents. Both held investigations into these atrocities, Argentina in 1983 and Chile in 1991. Argentina famously drew on forensics evidence from mass graves in order to do so. It mobilized the dead to testify to the crimes of the past. The dead were effectively witnesses from the grave.
Thanks to data collected by the Gaia spacecraft, we're building a detailed 3D map of the Milky Way. There are between 100 and 400 billion stars in our galaxy alone, and clouds of dust and gas like these nebulae, where new stars are born. Images sent from the Hubble Space Telescope have been blowing our minds for a generation. As we move away, we begin to see the great flat spiral of our galaxy, a few 100 billion stars rotating around a black hole, Sagittarius A star, 4.2 million times more massive than our Sun. We now think supermassive black holes reside at the centre of nearly all galaxies.
We called it the Women's International War Crimes Tribunal. It was led by women. It was about the issue of women, It was not a Yugoslavia War Crimes Tribunal or a Rwanda War Crimes Tribunal. It was a women's tribunal that addressed one core issue, and that is sexual slavery, rape, mass rape, sexual violence, forced pregnancy in wartime.
One of the things that really set this particular People's Tribunal apart was the formal nature of the proceedings. That really came from the women. They felt that this was the only way that they would feel that they had justice, if something that had that very formal nature to it.
The most special thing about Makimeza Children's Home is the ability to save lives. Starting from my own life, I believe I'm the key, that I'm the first life Mama rescued other than her own children. And the key thing very special about this home is the way lives are rescued. Lives are just rescued. Yes, it is getting really hard. And one time we didn't have space to rescue a baby, and Mama let go that baby. Very unfortunately, after 3 days we received reports the baby had died. So this is very painful when we see the space is getting more constricted. We cannot accommodate more abandoned babies, and yet we believe we save lives. When you don't save a life, we are not sure whether this baby will survive or not.
And the winner of the educational film from a university or college award is The Legacy of Tokyo Women's Tribunal from the London School of Economics. Congratulations to everyone involved in that project.
I'm very happy to accept this award on behalf of those involved in making the film. It is an incredible film for so many reasons, not least because it was filmed at the height of the pandemic across 9 different countries, but also because it tells an incredible story, a story of solidarity, this extraordinary moment in time where feminists and activists, legal scholars, academics, general public all came together to seek justice for and with the survivors of sexual slavery during the Second World War. After each interview, I was left with the same question: why don't I already know more about this? Why isn't this in the public consciousness? So for me, this award recognises that it is still so important to look outside the mainstream of history and tell marginalised stories. They are valuable, they are relevant, and they are so important to keep retelling. So thank you to Learning on Screen, thank you to the Centre for Women, Peace and Security at LSE, and of course huge thanks to the incredible women and allies who are featured in the film.
Your Honors, I would submit that Emperor Hirohito might use many justifications for the roads to the comfort station. They all lead to slavery and rape, and they all lead him to your judicial wisdom, which means a pronouncement of guilt.
When the judgment was handed down, recognizing that sexual slavery was a crime against humanity. And then the second part of that was the recognition that Emperor Hirohito was responsible for that crime.
And now on to our fifth award of the evening, the Creative Reuse Award. This award is open to any organisation or individual who has sourced and creatively reused film, footage, images, scripts or other material to produce an original piece of work. The judging panel shortlisted 4 nominations. Documentary as a genre of fiction or fakery in the field of documentary vision from the University of Birmingham. This video essay is an interrogation of Jacques Ranciere's thesis of documentary as a genre of fiction and the performance of the researcher-filmmaker within the setup. The judges praised the entry for effectively explaining and communicating sophisticated themes. They also felt that the commentary worked well to integrate the images used throughout the piece. Film with live orchestra concerts, A New Hope from the Royal College of Music, London. This video essay investigates the experience of the audience attending film with live orchestra concerts and traces the beginnings of this novel concert format. The judges praised the video essay for having wide appeal and found it an engaging and fascinating analysis of live orchestra screenings. Intersectionality and the female experience in the coming-of-age genre from the University of Birmingham. This project evaluates the success of female-centred, female-directed coming-of-age films in relation to their depictions of female experiences and minority representation. The judges described the work as a clearly argued and evidenced video essay which handled an important perspective with excellent use of video and audio clips. Shattered, Postmodern Schizophrenia and Schizophrenia in Film and TV, a desktop documentary from the University of Birmingham. Shattered gives an exploration into an alternative form of filmmaking, in addition to understanding film and TV's presentation of schizophrenia and film academia's use of the term postmodern schizophrenia. The judges described the piece as visually inventive and praised it for confidently handling big ideas with excellent use of film examples and entertaining visual design. Let's take a look at the nominations.
At the time of its release, many critics took great umbrage to the film's editing, the theatricality of it all, and Wales's persistent hyperbole. But arguably, Wales is only intensifying what is always already there. So, this slippery film is in many senses a polemic against the lie which so many films are built on: the seamless edit, reality principle, and realism.
An experience is optimal when there is a sense that one's skills are adequate to cope with the challenges at hand.
That flow channel, that area there, will be when you're doing what you really like to do. Play the piano, probably. Be with your best friend. Perhaps work, if work is what provides flow for you.
And I would add to that list, watching a familiar film with a live orchestra. Flow model is usually associated with the experience of creators, artists, and performers, but it could be applied to the experience of audiences as well, for they too are active participants, creators even.
As a result of the male gaze, women are expected to conform to passivity and to remain as objects for male viewing pleasure. This idea of conformity is explored in female-centred, female-directed coming-of-age films, as the protagonists often fight back against traditional gender norms such as femininity. Femininity can be argued to be a product of the male gaze, as women are expected to conform to patriarchal ideas of what it means for a woman to be attractive. By dressing and behaving in a feminine way, this conforms to heteronormativity and therefore the male gaze. Femininity is projected within these films through clothing and style, interests, fighting against religious traditions, and acting against gender roles.
For Jamieson, identity is a function of language. A coherent sense of self is created and sustained through the temporal organisation of linguistic signifiers. He says, when the links of that signifying chain snap, then we have schizophrenia in the form of rubble and distinct and unrelated signifiers. Leonard's Polaroid photographs, which he uses to navigate his environment, have come to replace reality, as all signifiers have lost their relation to the signified. They are distinct and unrelated, because Leonard is unable to attach a signified meaning to them. They are for Leonard definitive markers of history.
And the winner of the Creative Reuse Award is Shattered, Postmodern Schizophrenia and Schizophrenia in Film and TV, a desktop documentary from the University of Birmingham. Congratulations!
Hi, just wanted to say thank you to Learning on Screen for the award. I couldn't imagine I would be nominated, let alone win an award. I also want to say how much I appreciate the academic guidance of Nina, Gemma, Richard and Mags throughout the Masters. It was a really great year.
Leonard's identity is fractured, not only because of the postmodern unreliability of a photograph being an objective record, but because Leonard attaches continually shifting meanings to his photographs. They're crossed out, rewritten, and revised in relation to his immediate context.
Memory's unreliable.
Ah, please.
No, really. Memory's not perfect. It's not even that good. Look, memory can change the shape of a room, it can change the color of a car. And memories can be distorted. They're just an interpretation, they're not a record. And they're irrelevant if you have the facts.
In this way, Leonard's signifiers, which he regards as definitive markers of history, undergo a process of re-signification. His photographs become, as Baudrillard would put, a hyperreality. The photographs become fake representations of history, a copy of history that has no original. This means that any clear relationship between the photographs and their referent is compromised.
I'd now like to introduce Judge Fraser Ash, Content Creation Manager for Learning on Screen. Fraser will present our 6th award of the night for the broadcast category.
Thank you, Pratap. Well, I'd like to start by saying congratulations to all the nominees this year. It truly has been a pleasure watching all of your work. The broadcast category is open to educational programmes transmitted via any broadcast channel in the UK or beyond. Following much debate in this category, the jurors shortlisted 5 nominees, and these are Bite Size Daily, 9 to 10-year-olds, Earth and Space, from BBC Education. This entry is part of the Bite Size Daily series, which evolved as an emergency response during the pandemic to keep children learning during lockdown. This particular episode delivers a science lesson on Earth and space to an intended audience of 9 to 10-year-olds. The judges described the entry as engaging and fun, with a clearly explained structure and beautiful visual effects. Don't Exclude Me, from BBC Current Affairs and the Open University. With school exclusions at the highest in a decade, this documentary follows Marie Gentle's visits to Milton Hall Primary School in Southend to help the school manage their most challenging pupils. The judges praised the impressive access to the subjects and commended the episode for showing in detail the steps taken when dealing with the exclusion of young children. Kinyozi, from Development Media International. This entry is one part of a 6-episode series which follows the lives and family planning dilemmas of the staff and customers of a Nairobi barbershop. The series is aimed predominantly at men and explores their role in family planning. The judges praise the storytelling of Kinyozi for pointing to open discussion, and they describe the piece as well acted, clearly directed, and a pleasure to watch. Nowhere to Run, Abused by Our Coach, from the Open University and Lambent Productions. In this documentary, Charlie traces back to her early athletics development and shares deeply disturbing details about her coach, which at the time went unspoken by his victims of abuse and unnoticed by others. The judges praised the well-realised and strong journalistic lines structuring the film, as well as the excellent and courageous inner work from its presenter. Surrogates, from the Open University and Sundog Pictures. This documentary uncovers the taboos surrounding the controversial subject of surrogacy by following the experiences of 5 young British women embarking on their complex journeys to have babies for other people. The judges commended the strong, intimate and often unvarnished storytelling, which offered moving insights into the development of relationships and new families. Let's have a look at the entries.
That's a great idea, but I think we can do one better.
Wow! Mrs. V, how did you do that?
The power of 3D. We have an Earth. We also have a sun.
Oh, wow, that is so bright.
Let's put a mini Katie and a mini Mrs. V on our Earth.
Oh, look at us in the UK.
The sun is currently shining on the UK. Do you think it's day or night where we are?
Well, it must be daytime.
Watch what happens as Earth spins on its axis west to east. As the globe turns, the UK and mini us begin to go towards the darkness beyond the light.
You look like you're in a very good mood this morning. You happy?
Yeah.
Yeah? Ready to come in?
Yeah.
Excellent. Today, Oscar's working on his own away from his class because he had lashed out at members of staff. Right, ready? We're going this way. Depending on whether we can get to the bottom of this behaviour, he could be at risk of being excluded. Now, is it ever shout and scream in class time?
No.
No, so should we be doing that in class?
Because it's the rules.
It is one of the rules, isn't it? Is it ever okay to hit or push or kick anybody else? No. So what do we do to keep ourselves safe? We make sure we
listen ears.
We listen, we use our listening ears.
Touch your on.
Turn your brain on, and making sure that if your teacher says stop doing that,
And then I'll stop and do reflex.
Sikiza Franco, mimi sijihusishi na bibi za wenyewe, unasikia? So fikiria sana kabla uni accuse of anything.
Basi kama si wewe kuna mtu mwingine. Au nichezi aje? Mwanamke umeolewa na bado unatumia contraceptives. Inamaanisha unalala huko nje.
Nakusikiza.
Na kusikiza nini? Unafikiri sijui inamaanisha nini mtu akizitumia?
Sababu siko tayari kuzaa tena.
Unamaanisha nini ukisema uko tayari kuzaa tena?
Unakumbuka kupata Jada nilikuwa ngumu. Karibu nikufe. Franco, karibu nikufe. And now it's barely a year later na nataka akili yangu na mwili yangu ifike mahali niko tayari kuzaa tena na siko tayari.
I never told any of my friends what happened to me. It became my own secret that I pushed really far down, but I carried it with me everywhere. When I was 19, our coach was arrested and convicted, and it was only then I realised I wasn't the only one he'd abused. I just felt utter embarrassment. Nobody must find out.
Kate has created an embryo with her egg and her partner's sperm.
Should we get some milk? Yes.
It's due to be put in Caitlin's womb in 2 weeks' time.
Should I do porridge like we did yesterday with the honey and banana?
Yeah.
If someone needed something and you were in a position to give it to them, you would. Surrogacy was never on my radar before because I didn't know anyone that needed it. But now that I do, it feels like something I should do.
Well, after much deliberation, the judges decided to award an entry which broached a controversial and challenging subject in an often moving way. The winner of the Broadcast Award is Surrogates from the Open University and Sundog Pictures.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic to hear that the Open University has won in the broadcast category for Learning on Screen Awards 2022. This is fantastic news for us from the Broadcast and Partnerships team and also the Faculty of Wellbeing, Education and Language Studies at the Open University. It's just great to hear this news and also that have the fantastic work recognised from the audiovisual materials that we use in undergraduate modules across the university. So thank you very much. It's wonderful news.
This is your uterus and this is where we're heading with the embryo. Okay, so a little bit of pressure.
I feel like the second the transfer happens, the stopwatch starts to see if it's going to have worked. All our hopes and dreams and everything is riding on Caitlin.
You okay?
Yeah.
A bit uncomfortable?
Scratchy.
We should be able to see the bright dot on the screen. It's coming now. That's the tip of the embryo. Can you see that?
Congratulations to everyone involved. Well, it's now time to move on to our Student Production Awards, which is always a special part of our awards, being able to showcase such incredible work from so many promising and talented young filmmakers. The student categories include music video, animation, college, documentary, undergraduate and postgraduate productions. We'd also like to thank Kickstarter for offering one-to-one support and guidance for each of our student winners interested in using the platform to raise funds for their next projects. We'll kick off our student categories with the Music Video Award, which we created in 2020. Having received so many excellent music videos year after year, we thought it was about time we honoured them with their own award. The 3 nominations in this category are as follows. Boys Like You from Hurtwood House. This performance video features an electronic dance duo and was made as part of a music promotion campaign for their second year CIE International A-Level coursework. The judges praised the video's simple yet effective concept, which they felt was perfectly suited to its target audience. Poster Girl from Hertford House School. This video was made for teen fans of R&B and was also created as part of a music promotion campaign for their second year CIE International A-Level coursework. The judges praised Poster Girl's creative and effective use of studio, set and performance. Say from London South Bank University. This music video was made specifically for the course module Collaborative Practices and features a woman battling with her failing relationship before deciding to walk away from the situation. The judges praised the video's creative framing and camera movement and enjoyed the developing narrative in sync with the lead artist's style. Let's take a look at the nominations.
I was so blinded by lust that I didn't put up a fuss. It's true that I would never sleep with a boy like you. It's true that I would never sleep with a boy like you. It's true that I would never sleep with a boy like you. It's true that I would never sleep with a boy like you. Boy like you. All I want is you say you in my dreams. Wanna show you something you never seen. 'Cause I got everything that you need. I got you stuck in my mind. Most like all I want you to be mine. A figment of my imagination. This romance is my best creation. I got you stuck in my mind. Most like all I want you to be mine. A figment of my imagination. This romance is my best creation. I'm on the floor again where she left me fucked up. I got nothing left to lose, my feet are breaking in these shoes, but I'm moving. Say what you want, I'm leaving right now. I bleach my hair, I'm out of air, can't give a fuck about what you say. I'm planning tours to win awards, but ain't got nothing to my name. Say what you want, I'm leaving right now.
And the winner of the Student Music Video Award is Say from London South Bank University.
I bleach my hair, I'm out of air, can't give a fuck about what you say. I'm planning tours to win awards, but ain't got nothing to my name. I'm overzealous, feeling helpless, but I'm building myself up. There's nothing wholesome in our story, baby, I don't give a fuck. You say that there is no way to change the weather, but rainstorms come and go, you should know better. You fuck the trust, there's no more us, I'm leaving. This lonely hurts, but not like you're deceiving.
Congratulations everyone involved. Excellent work. Before we move on to our next category, I'd like to introduce Jane Zitto. Jane is the mother of Truro and Penwith College student and Learning on Screen Awards 2020 winner Ifan Holweger, who our animation award is named in honour of. Jane would like to take a minute just to tell you a little bit about the Ifan Holweger Award for Animation. Hi Jane.
Hello everyone. It's such a pleasure to be able to present this award tonight. Thank you to the Learning on Screen for inviting me to be part of your award ceremony, and thank you also to Truro and Penwith College for partnering with Learning on Screen to create the Ifan Holweger Award for Student Animation. My son Ifan, he was passionate about film, and in particular film animation. Every element of animation amazed Ifan. In his submission to apply for the Mel Hoppenheim School of Cinema in Montreal, Ifan wrote about the importance of his relationship with film and how it became a critical area in his life. Ifan said, "To me, films are some of the biggest influences in my life, and I couldn't go without them." Ifan died in July 2019. In March 2020, Ifan's dedication to film was recognised at the Learning on Screen Awards, when Ifan won the prestigious Student College Award for his stop-motion animation, Damned. Ifan said he wouldn't be able to create live-action versions of the animated films that he liked to make. And he said, but with animation and nothing else other than time, a basic camera, cardboard and string, I can imagine and create whatever world I want. Ifan's passion for stop-motion animation offered Ifan the potential to work with something tangible and physically present. Ifan built his own sets and he built his own models, and it required such delicacy and patience, creating stories that were exciting and enthralling for the audience, and proving that he was very much an animator of the finest vein. It means so much to myself, Ifan's family and Ifan's friends, to see that his talent and dedication to animation is honoured through this award. It is a passing of the torch to another, from someone, Ifan, who exemplified the true spirit of filmmaking. It brings me great pleasure to know that the work submitted across the student animation category this year was of exceptional quality. The 4 entries nominated by the judging panel are as follows. Into Being, from the Kingston School of Art. This film explores our disassociation from nature on a micro and macro level, a warning that we must face the climate crisis through a reconnection with our place in the natural world. The judges described the piece as visually excellent and appreciated the beautiful hand-drawn imagery. They agreed it was ambitious and successful in communicating the concept of interbeing. A Letter to My Future Child, from the Kingston School of Art. This entry is a personal animated documentary exploring the director's childhood and family relationships with a view to opening lines of conversation on its given themes. The judges praised the confident and simple choice of using outlines in the animation, which they felt brilliantly conveyed the idea of the maker trying to fill in the gaps to understand and create his family's story. Sometimes Nothing is Heaviest, from the University of Glasgow. This experimental stop-motion animation presents a capitalist commentary via an exploration of psychosocial liminality. The aim of the work was to create a piece that could ultimately accept whatever the viewer was bringing to it, and the judges praised the piece for the staggering amount of work that evidently went into it. They felt the camera work was fantastic and the scale of the film was marvellous. The Toothbrush, from the Kingston School of Art. This playful educational animated film warns of the dangers of not brushing your teeth and was designed for screening in primary schools. The judges described the piece as playful, imaginative and educational, and they felt the animator had a great understanding of the principles of animation and they enjoyed the comic timing throughout. Let's take a look at the 4 nominations.
When we cut ourselves off from any aspect of nature, other people, we create a wound, we create a cutoff. And this is painful. If you condition everything on some notion of bigness defined by whatever metrics, then you're going to skip over all of the small things that none of them on their own actually make sense. What does it matter? One bottle different. What difference does it make?
It's definitely something that always plays on my mind because mum says to me, oh, you know, you and Brennan should go out and do this and do that and go and, you know, don't take Brennan for granted or don't take your relationships for granted.
He's told you that he cares sometimes, like not all the time, like it's a bit crap like that. Hopefully in other ways he's shown you. I hope. I think he has shown you love. But maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just he shows you love in the way that he knows how to show you love, and it's not the same as how I see love should be shown.
After what has been a fantastic year for the Learning on Screen Awards first dedicated animation category, I am honoured to present the Ifan Holweger Award for Student Animation to Sometimes Nothing is Heaviest from the University of Glasgow.
I'd first like to say that it was just such a privilege to have been nominated at all, and also such a privilege to be able to honour Ifan in this way. I didn't know him, but I watched his work, and the thing about animation specifically is that there's so much intention behind these pieces, you know, behind every frame, that you get to see all of the parts of him that he put into these works, and you can tell that he got why we do these, you know, he understood. And so I'd like to thank Ian Garwood at the University of Glasgow for encouraging me to submit, my program supervisors Azadeh Amadi and Mitchell Miller, Michael's Coffee Shop and Bakery and Shockwave Youth Centre in Canada for hosting the project while we were shooting, the Learning on Screen Awards for hosting this, and all of my friends and family for supporting me along the way. Thank you.
Well done, congratulations to the University of Glasgow. And thank you once again to Learning on Screen and Truro and Penwith College for making Ifan's award possible. And I wish the best of luck to the rest of the student nominations tonight. I'd now like to hand over to Judge Rhys Davis, Senior Lecturer in Creative Sound Design at Royal Holloway, University of London. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jane, and it's a pleasure to have you involved in our ceremony this evening. The next in our line of Student Production Awards is our Student College Award, sponsored by the Open University, pioneers of distance learning for over 50 years. This category was full of creativity, and it was encouraging to see students at college level producing such high-quality productions. The 3 nominees in this category are The Dog Factory, from the Manchester Film School. This film aimed to show the crushing day-to-day lives of the disenfranchised and aspired to make a piece that felt like it had been pulled out of a rabbit hole in the wastelands of Lancashire. The judges praised the outstanding performances driven by excellent direction in this film. They described the piece as having real tension and menace, which at times felt quite disturbing. The Suicide Booth, from the Manchester Film School. This science fiction drama is set in a dystopian city landscape where a police officer is faced with making a life and death decision. The judges enjoyed this film's imaginative and emotive storytelling. They praised the fantastic production design and strong performance from its central character. Symmetry, from the Manchester Film School. In this film, a young man's obsessive character overtakes his daily life to a point where he removes a part of his body that no longer fits his sense of perfection. The judges praised this concise horror flick for having good sound and cinematography, with particularly excellent and gruesome visual effects. Let's have a look at our 3 nominees.
I'm trying to help you. All right. You said you wanted to have fun, didn't you? You want to play cowboys, don't you? Yeah. Yeah. The only way to do that is to get in the van. In the van? No. Yeah, mate. With the music. Baxter, no. You fucking leave it. What is it with you as well? Get in the van. Van or home? What's it going to be? Tell you what, if you can prove yourself to be a real man, I'll let you go. No problem, yeah? Wait there. Grab that. Yeah? Shoot him. It's only an air gun.
I want to die.
Are you sure?
clearly. Are you doing it?
Georgie, this can wait. I really need those financial reports. Georgie, please, just, can you stop? I really need you to do your work. I don't pay you to wash the dishes.
Oh God, this place is a mess. I can't work like this.
Georgie, those plates really don't matter.
They do!
The winner of this category was a film that one of our judges described as a strong film by a Gen Z Mike Leigh. The winner of our Student College Award is The Dog Factory from the Manchester Film School.
Thank you so much for the Learning on Screen Award. It means the world to everyone who was part of Dog Factory. We poured our heart and soul into making it, so to win this award it's just a massive pat on the back that's well deserved to all the cast and crew, and it's a massive confidence booster for the future projects as well, so thank you very much.
Right, you, turn around. Move back, turn around. Right, shoot him, lift your top up. Right, it's very simple, mate, it's only a fucking egg. Lift it! Right, now shoot him. Shoot him just above his arse, it's only a fucking egg, and it's not going to hurt him, mate. Face that way and shoot him. Shoot him! Fuck's sake, man, come here. Come here, aim it, have a look and shoot him, yeah?
Congratulations to the Manchester Film School. Now it's time to move on to our Student Undergraduate Award, sponsored by the Educational Recording Agency, an organisation dedicated to helping teachers unlock the vast educational value of broadcast resources. The judging panel had a difficult task shortlisting in this category, as so many entries were of an excellent standard and the judges were passionate about their favourite films. The panel decided to nominate the following 4 entries. Au-delà de mes rêves les plafonds from Bournemouth University. This film is a creative response to the surrealist work of Louis Buñuel, evoking Buñuel's thematic and visual tropes with a modern interpretation. The judges enjoyed the beautiful, surrealist imagery throughout and praised the piece for mastering the elements of Buñuel's filmmaking, as well as emulating the techniques of the era. Finding Laredo from the University of Westminster. This film, inspired by the Western genre, follows the Northwick Kid, a full-time cowboy and part-time traffic warden, as he travels to the wild west of Kent in search of a new home. The judges described the film as sophisticated and engaging, and praised it for its strong narrative and comic dialogue. New Heights from London South Bank University. The beautiful landscape of northeastern Italy is violated by an unusual guest, a living drone, which antagonises a poor farmer who does whatever he can to chase away the strange beast. The judges praised the excellent sound design and editing in this film, and felt that it displayed a high confidence and strong understanding of film genre tropes. Porcelain from Nottingham Trent University. Porcelain is a psychodrama of a woman confronting her sense of isolation. As Nora slips into a fantasy land to escape her painful reality, the moment is short-lived as she can't seem to get away from herself. The judges described the film as profound and praised the textural and surrealist feel emphasised by the excellent scene-changing devices. So, let's have a look at the clips from these entries.
seriously going to charge me 50 quid for being 1 minute late? I don't control the Tesco queue, do I?
I understand, madam. I don't make the
Excuse me, ma'am. Is this fella bothering you?
Oh, for Christ's sake, get out the road, mate.
Do you know what? The rules are so you lot can make more money and us lot are the muppets forking out.
Everyone pays the same amount.
Ma'am.
What do you keep doing? You're not
They
even
call me the
supposed-
Northwick Kid. I'm on the job.
Colin, we've spoken about this.
Looks to me like your shift was over at 3, so this is my zone to roam. Now, this poor, young lady here has got chilling to feed, so how about you mosey on off and show a little empathy?
Unbelievable.
All right, now.
After much deliberation in such a strong category, I can reveal the winner of the Student Undergraduate Award is New Heights from the London South Bank University.
Hello, it's Nicola Poiana. First of all, I want to thank Learning on Screen for the nomination and the win at this point, I guess. Then I want to thank LSBU, especially Matthew Hawkins, because without him and without his support I wouldn't be here today. I also want to thank my mother and my dad, like every real Italian being would do. Well, I want to dedicate this award to every wanderer, every castaway, every true dreamer, and really everyone else who have lost their way in this crazy, astonishing trip. Well, until next time, bye.
So, congratulations to London South Bank University. I'd now like to introduce our next judge, Joanna Brame. Joanna is currently series editor for the BBC, and she'll be presenting our next student category, the Student Postgraduate Award. Joanna.
Hi everyone, it's a real pleasure to be presenting an award tonight on what's my first year as a judge for the Learning on Screen Awards. It's just great to be able to showcase such amazing filmmaking talent. Now on to the Student Postgrad Award. The judging panel nominated the following 3 entries in this category. The Earth is Flat and I'm Falling Off the Edge from the University of Birmingham. This film is an exploration of conspiracy, courage and self-reflection, and ties these elements together using the fragmentary nature of conspiracy theories as a structural inspiration. The judges described the film as a well-written and entertaining exploration of coping with life's anxieties. They felt it would have a clear resonance with other students and their experiences of managing their mental health. Promotional from Goldsmiths College. This film interrogates the concept of Britain as a land paved with gold by using archive material, poetry and reenactments of oral histories from Black and South Asian post-war immigrants. The judges praised the confident performances, as well as the simple yet powerfully effective device of retelling key stories through younger voices. When She Was Good, from the National Film and Television School. In this psychological drama, a young girl discovers that Santa is not real and begins to question the lies told by adults, as well as a terrible secret she's been forced to keep. The judges praised the strong performances and excellent setting and found the story to be a pertinent premise for its dark subject matter. Let's take a look at our 3 postgraduate nominees.
I've learned that when fire and ice combine, they don't divide, they multiply. 2 extremes don't cancel, they intensify. And yes, there's something bringing the cold, but no, I bring the burn. If I was a mole in the side of a hill, I wouldn't seek that same masochistic thrill that keeps my human heart humming, human mind numbing. Someone please help me. I think I'm becoming insignificant again. That's the 3rd time today.
We went to a pub named Wagon and Horses. There were 2 smoke rooms, 1 assembly room and 2 bars. I opened the door of the assembly room and they were all white men. Not my brother, someone else said that we are not going there. I asked why. He said, we are not allowed to drink in there. I said, why? He said, the gaffer says when we sit together, we talk very loudly. And the white people don't like us talking loudly. And the other thing is we talk in Punjabi. And the white people are complaining that we are talking about them in our own language. These are the problems.
Wake up! Wake up! Santa's come!
What are you doing? Hey, stop that. These aren't yours. Stop it. Give them here. Give them to me. No, baby, no. Your sister's in the naughty list.
Nice one, freak.
Stop that. Look at me. You say sorry to your sisters. Tell your sister the truth.
And the winner of the Student Postgraduate Award is Promotional from Goldsmiths College.
Thank you to Learning on Screen for selecting Promotional for this award. I'd love to say thanks to Daisy, Laura and Jack at Goldsmiths for all their help in making this film, to Carmen for assisting with the archive research, to both the actors and the crew who helped bring these stories to life, and finally to Holweger, who created 3 brilliant poems to accompany this film. So thanks to everyone and thanks again for selecting me for this award.
There is a view that we didn't have any racial riots in this country. We had racial uprising in this country. And there's also a view that, look, it's not just about black people in Brixton and Lozelle and Tuxteth and Handsworth and so forth. White working class youngsters were visibly taking part in these areas, which would tend to subscribe to the fact that it was more of an uprising than riots. In the sense that if society makes some of its members feel like they don't belong, that they haven't got a claim on anything, then it can't be a surprise if they don't feel like the towns, the centres, the buildings, the facilities have anything to do with them, set out to destroy them.
Congratulations, Goldsmiths College. Now we move on to our final student award of the evening, the Student Documentary Award, sponsored by the Open University. This year we had a fantastic variety of entries in this category, covering a diverse range of topics that both enlightened and entertained the judges. The 5 nominations in this category are as follows. The Grey Shore from Nottingham University. This short nature documentary focuses on the trials and tribulations of grey seals during their breeding season on the beaches of Norfolk. The judges praised the excellent production values and beautiful shots of the seals and surrounding landscape. They felt that all the stylistic cues of a nature documentary were met. Man Up from the University of Westminster. This animated documentary works with the Sussex University's men's rugby team to open up this often avoided conversation surrounding young men's mental health, and shows that it is still vital to open this dialogue. The judges praised the raw and powerful testimonies and felt that the use of animation was an excellent way of allowing the men to feel they could speak openly and emotionally. Two Homertons from Goldsmiths College. This short documentary follows the unfolding of a generational cycle between a mother that moved to Homerton, Hackney from Nigeria aged 8 and her son's move to Homerton College in Cambridge decades later. The judges felt the filmmaker's technical skill was evident in the piece, and they enjoyed the use of archive footage to support what was a very touching depiction of a mother and son's relationship. 2 Weeks in Batley from the University of Birmingham. This documentary centres on the Batley and Spen by-election in July 2021, which quickly became a microcosm of the current state of the Labour Party and of the UK's wider political climate today. The judges described the documentary as both engaging and thought-provoking, and praised the evident skill in editing, which brought together this entertaining narrative. Voices Apart from Goldsmiths University of London and Broken Island Films. In this documentary, 3 Lithuanians reflect on the time when they first began to suffer from psychosis and to hear voices in their heads. With grace and insight, they relive life-changing incidents they've experienced since. The judges praised the strong performances in this piece and thought that the use of lip-syncing to show the separation between the subjects' voices and minds was extremely effective. Let's have a look at extracts from our 5 nominees.
When pups are born, the mothers gather its scent. This crucial bond will be pivotal in ensuring the pup's survival over the trying weeks to come. Mothers tend to their pups' every need, feeding them fat-rich milk that allows the pup to grow 2 kilograms heavier each day. But cows and their pups are not the only ones who inhabit this shore.
I was kind of telling myself that I was fine and stuff and trying to distract myself from, how I was feeling. It all kind of came to a head, and I think it was kind of like my subconscious was it was like my emotions were kind of forcing themselves out, and it kind of culminated in a panic attack, and then went to A&E. My heart rate was at like my resting heart rate was like 130, and it was at that for like an hour. And in the waiting room, I was just like getting worse and worse, just like struggling to breathe, like struggling to speak, just like. And in that moment, I was actually so convinced that I was literally having a heart attack and going to die.
As an individual, I wouldn't say I'm particularly satisfied where I am in life, but in regards to my children, obviously including Arrow and his journey, yeah, I'm very satisfied. And it's not just because he's in Cambridge University, it's not that. It's his mannerism, it's his ways, his nature, how he can go and fit into an environment that's totally new to him, in a city that is entirely new to him. And I can trust that he will be respectful to everyone that he meets. At the end of the day, I can only be satisfied to have turned out a good human being into the world.
Your dad, Granville, he ended up running for MP in Spen Valley. Do you remember it at all?
I remember it very clearly. I was only 4 when I realised that he was coming home from the war. He came home as a sort of hero person. I knew he was going to be an important man in the town. My mother, Margaret, had really written out his manifesto, if you like, as to why people should vote for Granville Sharp. And I know that after the First World War, the first person in this constituency, Spen Valley, was a Labour person returned. So it's interesting, after wars, people want Labour.
Man pas baisiausias dalykas yra pas vieta, kurioje jaučiuosi labai negerai, yra ypatingai mano močiutės namai. Taip. Ir vienas iš dalykų, žinau, kodėl aš jaučiuosi blogai, dėl to, kad neturiu labai daug nuotraukų, nepasikabinus, o nuotraukas yra blogis. Aš žiūriu į nuotraukas, čia yra kitas keistas dalykas. Aš pažiūriu ir aš kartais jaučiu, ar tai yra geras žmogus, blogas, aš jaučiu, ar tai yra žmogus gyvas ar negyvas. Ir pas ją yra labai daug nuotraukų ir aš žiūriu jas ir galvoju, eina savo, kiek daug yra negyvų žmonių, ir atrodo, kad jinai jų nepaleidžia.
I can now reveal that the winner of the Student Documentary Award is Man Up from the University of Westminster.
Hi, my name's India. I'm the director of Man Up, and I just want to say a massive thank you to Learning on Screen, and a massive thank you to the rest of the team, Hester, Tom, Athena, Louis, all of the animators that contributed to our film and made it what it is, and all the amazing boys who shared their stories. Thank you so much, and it's a real privilege.
Looking back on it, it's actually incredible how powerful that thought in my head was. I was wholeheartedly convinced that was it. And then they did a heart scan on me and told me I was fine and calmed me down and whatever. And it was kind of a massive weight off my chest. And it kind of came with the realization that, yeah, you got to start facing your feelings and allow yourself to be upset and whatever, because, if you run from these things, I feel like they will maybe come out in one way or another.
Huge congratulations to the University of Westminster. I'd now like to welcome the chair of the judging panel, Sean Thornton, to present the final 2 awards of the evening. Sean has over 20 years' experience as a factual video producer and currently manages the TV and film production facilities at Anglia Ruskin University.
Thank you, Joe. I now have the great pleasure of announcing the final 2 awards of the evening, the Special Jury Award and the Premier Award. Now, these awards are presented by the jury to entries which stood out across the categories for content, production or technical ability. So I'll start with the Special Jury Award. Now, this year we've decided to present this special award to an entry with a highly ambitious scope of outreach for its incredibly important subject matter. Our judges praised the piece for its great performances, storytelling and clear direction, and above all, it was a pleasure to watch. The winner of the Special Jury Award is Kinyozi from Development Media International.
Thank you so much for this award. We're really excited to be receiving it. The Kinyozi series went out on TV and social media in many countries in East Africa, and it got amazing feedback from everybody who watched it. It also encouraged men to take more responsibility for contraception in those countries, which was our aim. And I just want to say a really big thank you to Brian and Likari and our amazing scriptwriter-director team in Kenya for doing such a fantastic job. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Likari Manaina from Nairobi, Kenya. I was the director of the project. I wanted to say thank you so much for this award. It means a lot, not just to me, but to the entire team of people who worked so hard on this project. I want to say a special thank you to DMI, who took a chance on us, who took a chance on this story that was necessary and timely for the world that we live in right now. And so, yeah, it feels so good to have our artwork crossing borders. Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Because haunisikizi. Unanisha down na unaniignore. Wewe kazi yako ni kuambia kijiji mzima vile tutapata watoto 5. Badala ya kunisikiza mimi. Utanisikiza sasa.
Sharon, you can take the day off. Ni mnapaswa kuongea.
Okay, so thank you.
Now, to maximise the reach of this programme, it was dubbed into 12 languages, distributed to 7 African countries via broadcast on video screens even the distribution of SD cards, reaching millions of users. So congratulations to everyone at Development Media International. So now we move on to our Premier Award. This is the final award of the evening, and this award is presented to an outstanding organisation, programme or production deserving of recognition. Now, we've decided this year to present the award to an entry that was produced as part of an emergency response to the pandemic, in the hope of keeping the UK's children learning during lockdown. Our judges described the episode as engaging, fun and well-structured, and praised it for its carefully considered practice examples and pupil participation. So, it's my great pleasure to present the Learning on Screen Premier Award of 2022 to Bite Size Daily, 9 to 10-year-olds, Earth and Space from BBC Education.
Thank you so much for this award. We're really proud to receive it. Bite Size Daily was launched as BBC Education's emergency response to the pandemic when schools were locked down, and since then it's evolved into what I think is a really high-end, really good quality, fun, entertaining box set of programmes to really support learning in the classroom, and we're very proud of them. And I'm very proud of the team. They're very innovative, very creative, they're very hardworking, and they've been brilliantly led by the exec producer Dan Gooding and the series producer Dave Coulson. So I'd like to say a big thanks to them, to the whole team for all their hard work, and a big thank you to you for giving us this award.
Oh wow, that is so bright! Let's put a mini Katie and a mini Mrs V on our Earth. Oh, look at us in the UK! The sun is currently shining on the UK. Do you think it's day or night where we are?
Well, it must be daytime.
Watch what happens as Earth spins on its axis west to east. As the globe turns, the UK and mini us begin to go towards the darkness beyond the light.
Oh, so it's starting to get darker, so that must mean it's evening time now, near sunset.
Exactly.
Well, that was at the beginning of Bite Size Daily, and that would run for over 200 shows. These remain accessible for teachers and parents on iPlayer and have been requested nearly 10 million times. So congratulations to everyone involved in that project. Well, this brings us to the end of our 2022 Learning on Screen Awards. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's ceremony. And thank you for joining us in celebrating all our nominees and winners this year. It's truly inspiring to see that what has been a tumultuous 2 years, the drive to create unique and engaging media for and within the education sector is as strong as ever. And we could see that in the judging room. So we hope to see more of your brilliant work when entries open for our 2023 awards this summer. So, till next year, goodbye.